Today, we're going to talk about something that's at the absolute heart of Indian cuisine, dal. I mean, it's the one staple food that unites a billion of us, right? But behind every single bowl, there's a really fascinating and complex story. A huge national paradox that India is now on a mission to solve. You know, from dal makhani up in the north to sambar down in the south, pulses are literally everywhere. For the vast majority of Indians, this is our single most important source of protein. It's way more than just food. It's a cornerstone of our nutrition, of our culture. But our dependency on it brings us to this huge and kind of surprising puzzle. Okay, so here's the big question, the paradox at the center of India's food security. We grow more pulses than any other country on the planet, but at the same time, we're also the biggest importer. I mean, how is that even possible? And maybe more importantly, what are we doing to fix it? Let's break it all down. So to really get our heads around this paradox, we've got to look at what we're growing and then figure out how much we actually need. So the first thing you're probably going to notice is how one crop just dominates the scene. Chickpea, chana, makes up nearly half of our entire pulse production. After that, you've got pigeon pea or tur and green gram, which we all know as mung. These three right here, well, they're the backbone of our daily meals. And this chart really shows you the gap perfectly. Just last year, India produced a massive 24.5 million tons of pulses, but we still had to import almost 4.8 million tons. The simple truth is, even as the world's top producer, we just don't grow enough to feed ourselves. And this shortfall, it's not just a number on a chart. It has some really serious consequences for the country. So, why is closing this gap so incredibly critical? Well, it's not just about saving money on imports. This whole thing goes much, much deeper, touching on our health, the economy, and believe it or not, even the environment. First off, let's talk nutrition. Pulses give us up to a quarter of the protein in our diets, but most of us still don't eat the recommended amount. Second, there's price stability. When we rely on imports, we're at the mercy of global price hikes, and that hits everyone's wallet. And third, and this is pretty cool, there's this huge environmental benefit. Pulses actually enrich the soil naturally, which means farmers need fewer chemical fertilizers. And if you think the gap is big now, well, it's about to get a whole lot bigger. Projections are showing that by 2030, India's demand for pulses is going to surge to over 46 million tons. To put that into perspective, that's nearly double what we produce today. Without a massive change, our need for imports would just skyrocket. This is exactly why a new, ambitious plan isn't just an option. It's an absolute necessity. And that plan, it has a name, Mission Aatmanirbharta. It literally translates to the mission for self-reliance. It's a huge national strategy, and it's designed to tackle this challenge head-on. The goal here is crystal clear. Achieve self-sufficiency in pulses by the end of 2027. That's it. No more relying on other countries for our staple food. It's a really ambitious target, and it's being backed by a very serious commitment. And that commitment comes with some serious funding. We're talking over 11,000 crore rupees allocated to make this mission a success. This isn't just some line item in a budget. It's a massive national investment meant to completely reshape our agricultural landscape and secure our food future for decades. So the mission is set to run until 2031, and it's laser-focused on three key pulses: tur, urad, and masoor. Why those three? Well, the reason is simple. They're the ones we import the most. By boosting their production, the mission aims to directly support and empower 2 crore farmers right across the country. Okay, so the goal is huge. The money is in place. But how is this all actually going to work on the ground? Let's take a look at the mission's blueprint for self-sufficiency. The strategy is a really simple but powerful 3-step process. First, get better seeds into the hands of farmers. We're talking high-yielding, pest-resistant varieties. Second, give farmers a solid guarantee. The government will buy 100% of their tur, urad, and masoor crops at a minimum support price, or MSP. This basically removes all the market risk for them. And third, build up the infrastructure after the harvest by supporting 1,000 new processing units. Now, making this happen takes a massive team effort. Procurement is going to be handled by agencies like NAFED and NCCF. The state governments are in charge of creating the seed production plans. The Indian Council of Agricultural Research, or ICAR, will oversee the development of these super high-quality breeder seeds. Think of them as the original master copies for all the other seeds. And the whole thing is tied together by a digital platform called the Sati portal, which makes sure every single seed is authentic and traceable, all the way from the lab to the farm. Now, it's important to remember this mission isn't happening in a vacuum. It's actually the latest and definitely the most ambitious step in a long journey towards securing our pulse supply. You see, this push for pulse self-sufficiency isn't new. We've had initiatives like the National Food Security Mission back in 2007 and the PM ASHA Price Support Scheme in 2018. They laid some really important groundwork. So Mission Aatmanirbharta isn't starting from scratch. It's designed to build on all the lessons we learned from these past efforts to create a much more focused and powerful strategy for the final push. Ultimately, this mission is about so much more than just pulses. It's really a foundational step toward ensuring nutritional security for every single Indian, boosting the prosperity of millions of our farmers, and cutting down our dependence on imports. It's a vision for a truly self-reliant India, and it all starts with the humble yet absolutely essential bowl of dal. The big question remains, can this comprehensive plan finally, once and for all, solve India's great pulse paradox?